10,000 days and the pussy is not long enough. Hey, what's up, fam? It's your boy, back with another episode of MMTISTY. And in this episode, we have Tool's 10,000 Days. American progressive rock, progressive metal band Tool's latest album. By latest, I mean this thing came out 12 years ago. Which is upsetting to me. As timeless as this album is, every single Tool fan is still waiting for that goddamn new album, which, thank God, we recently got the news that they're finally starting to record it, so hopefully that will be coming out sometime this year, or perhaps next year. Either way, you know your boy's gonna be reviewing the fuck out of it. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk about their latest album, 10,000 Days, because this album is so fucking good. A famous thing that is known in between Tool fans alike is that you have to listen to an entire album. Tool is meant to be played album by album rather than song by song, which is why you won't find Tool on things like Apple Music or Spotify, and the only place that you can get it illegally is people who re-upload it onto YouTube. Hence why there is no Spotify link for this album in the description, which I try to do with every single artist that I do an episode of on MMTISTY. There isn't a single track on this album that I can say is bad, that I can say is boring, that I can say I've listened to too much of and I don't want to listen to anymore. It's probably one of the most perfect albums, just as an album, that I've listened to in a very, very long time. Right from the get-go with Vicarious, it just grips you. It emotionally grapples you into just listening to everything. And I feel that Tool especially is a band that is very skilled at creating 8 to 10 minute songs that don't feel like 8 to 10 minute songs. Like, if you get rid of the interlude in the middle and the interlude at the end, or I guess it'll be the outro at the end, the average Tool song on this album spans about 7 to 8 minutes long. With there only being 11 tracks with the 2 instrumental pieces that I mentioned, including the interlude, it feels like a very short album if you think about it. Like, even for a full-length LP, 10 songs is quite short. But you have to take into account just the sheer amount of quality and the sheer just length of the songs, but it's so weird that I can just sit down and listen to this 1 hour long album and I'll be like, oh shit, it's already been an hour? Might have to listen to that again. The vocalist, Manny James Keenan, is just extraordinary with his serene voice, but also his screams, as he is better known for. Adam Jones's guitar work, always on point, even with the simple stuff like in the track Jambi, which is just a string of just which might seem a little bit more simpler especially if you look at it compared to a little bit more of some technical metal bands out there. It might seem simple, but his timing is perfect, and just his work with Justin Chancellor on the bass. Justin Chancellor, like, fuck, I hope that Justin Chancellor doesn't finger too many goals, because with the finger work that he puts on that motherfucking bass, you better believe that the goal is gonna explode from ecstasy. And Danny Carey on the drums, he's just tight. He knows how to kind of form the band together with his beats. This whole band just knows how to work together so effortlessly and so beautifully that you sometimes forget that these are just regular people playing regular instruments. And unlike a lot of Tool albums, I'd have to say that 10,000 Days is also one of Tool's most emotional album, with the title, 10,000 Days, referring to Manny James Keenan, the lead singer's mother, who suffered a stroke and survived for 10,000 days. And this album basically signifies her passing and her going up to heaven, as they say, or when she got her wings, as is described in Wings for Marie Part 1 and 10,000 Days Part 2, which is a big 17-minute long track about Manny James Keenan talking about the passing of his mother. And then you have just absolute bangers of a song like The Pot, which has possibly one of the greatest screams to finish off a track, if you, of course, exclude The Grudge from their previous album, but that's a completely different video for another time. And then you have some absolutely insane sounding alien stories, like songs on Rosetta Stone, which is all about a guy who goes into a desert and has a massive trip, and the lyrics are just probably the weirdest shit that I've ever heard, but it is also equally amazing sounding. And then you have tracks like Right In 2, which also has just an explosive and very I'd have to say angelic ending, and it might be because, again, like, this is one of Tool's most emotional albums. The overall sound of this album compared to their other albums is a lot more angelic sounding. Probably it has to do with Maynard James Keenan's mother, who was very religious at the time, while Maynard James Keenan is not so religious as a person. But even with the strange detours that they might seem like with the interlude song Light Band Conjuring, like, it's just a 1-minute track of a guy doing indigenous chanting voices over some drums, and it might seem like a little bit of a strange detour if you think about it, but then that perfectly connects over to the next track, Lost Keys, which is technically the introduction to Rosetta Stone. Every single track ends by kind of fading out, and then the next track following it always fades back in from the previous track. So if you think about it, and if you listen very carefully, the entire album just sounds like one continuous 75-minute track. And I feel that if you just listen to the tracks on this album, or in fact any Tool album one track at a time, then it really takes away that magic, because that's also one aspect of, I guess, the Tool's own, like, art style, I'd say, and their aesthetic is just the fact that every single song is connected to one another, every single motif of every track is connected to one another, and it is just one big song. And look, even though it is a progressive metal track, I just can't help but kind of tear up a little bit every time I hear Wings for Marie Part 1 and 10,000 Days Part 2, which is all just one track, especially 10,000 Days Part 2, before it goes into the "Give me my wings." Maynard James Keenan's, I guess, emotion really drives out from this song especially. I mean, his emotion is very heavy and very apparent in every single track on this album, but you can definitely tell that this, you know, particular song is very touching to him, and it comes from really deep within himself. Tool is definitely not the first band to do this role reversal between guitar and bass, but they definitely do it in a way that is really unmatched compared to other bands. And when you get genius vocals from Maynard James Keenan with his genius and very multi-layered lyrics, combine that with Danny Carey's just impeccable drumming, you have an absolutely unforgettable album that has basically kept the band going on for the 12 years that they haven't released an album. But yeah, that is Tool's 10,000 Days. But is it good though? Stupid question, of course it is. Again, they don't have any Tool albums on Spotify or Apple Music, so the link to listen to the album will be off YouTube, so let me know what you think about it. And if there are any other albums that you would like me to talk about or review, as I very loosely put it, then make sure to put it in the comments below, or use that specialized hashtag MMTISTY over on Twitter. I'll see you guys next video. Pew!